Okay, I'd like to bring this meeting to order. The Village of Villa Park Board of Trustees, October 10th, 2022. Clerk Konecki, please call the roll.
Trustee Solella. Trustee Corkery. Trustee Kozar.
Here.
Trustee Kumar. Here. Trustee Murphy. Here. Trustee Patrick.
Here.
President Cassell.
Here, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then please remain standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this evening. May we have meaningful discussions that will help us to assist our village in these trying times. Help us to make the decisions that will affect the staff, directors, and residents of Villa Park. Guide us through the challenges we face, and may we approach each other with respect and kindness as one group. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, we'll go on to item number 3, public comments on agenda items. Clerk Konecki, anyone signed up?
Yes, I have one person for agenda, Kim Krieger, regarding item 10D. Yes, Kim?
Hi, so item 10D is basically amending and adding utilities to a fund that's already available. I find it would be helpful for several of the property owners who are down by me. I've spoken to some. I would appreciate your consideration on this. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Kim. Okay, anyone else, public comments on agenda items? Okay, we will move to item number 4, amendments to the agenda. Anyone have any amendments? I actually have 2 amendments that I'd like to propose here. Let's see. Where are we here? Item 10B and 10C. These are regarding the AFSCME contract. According to the village manager, the union did not sign it yet, so we will have to postpone that until our next board meeting. So someone would like to make a motion to table item 10B and 10C. Trustee Patrick.
Mr. President, I'd like to table 10B and 10C until date specific.
Yes, can I, just to make some clarification, the motion should be to postpone to the next board meeting, and that date will be October 24th.
Mr. President, I'd like to make the motion to postpone 10B and 10C until our next stated meeting on October 24th.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Kumar?
I would like to second that motion.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on that? Okay, Clerk Konecki, please call the roll.
Actually, can I ask a question?
Sure.
How close are they to signing this agreement?
We'll turn that to the manager.
There were some editing errors that we need to be fixed, so it wasn't ready to be signed, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail beyond that. But nothing has changed in terms of agreement on the major issues. We just need to get it in a form that they can sign it.
Okay. Clerk Konecki.
Okay, Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Kozar.
Yes.
Trustee Kumar.
Yes.
Trustee Patrick.
Yes.
President Cassell.
Yes. Okay. With that, we will go to item 5, the presentation by Sikich LLC. This is a presentation of the Village 2021 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Nick Bava. I'm a senior manager with Sikich. On behalf of Sikich, thank you to the president, thank you to the members of the board for having me here tonight to present the results of the village's audit as of December 31st, 2021. Ultimately, as part of the audit process, we issue a handful of deliverables. Going through them real quick, the annual comprehensive financial report, that is the large audit document. In addition, we issue the auditor's communication to the Board of Trustees, the management letter required by Illinois compiled statutes, the single audit of federal expenditures, the tax examination compliance report for the village's tax increment financing districts number 2 through number 6, the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund allocation of pension amounts specific to the village and library's participation, and then finally we assist with the comptroller's annual financial report. Tonight I'll briefly highlight some items out of the annual comprehensive financial report, but would be happy to address any questions that there might be as part of this year's deliverables. Following along, if you are following along with me, we're going to start in the introductory section on page Roman numeral 3. It's 3 lowercase i's. This is the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. This certificate, first, I would just like to commend the village for voluntarily continuing to prepare an annual comprehensive financial report. This report goes above and beyond the required minimum here in Illinois from a statutory requirement and in conjunction with generally accepted accounting principles. This report here tonight is prepared in the spirit of full disclosure, accountability, and transparency for the constituents of Villa Park. This is the 34th consecutive certificate that the village has received, and we anticipate the village receiving its 35th once this report goes under an external review. So I'd just like to congratulate and note that for the village. Moving on to the beginning of the financial section, pages 1 through 4. Pages 1 through 4 are titled the Independent Auditor's Report. These 4 pages are the most important pages in the document in that they articulate the auditor's opinion and level of assurance on the financial statements and the audit under question tonight. The first section, the opinion section on page 1, specifically the second paragraph, documents that based on our audit and the reports of other auditors, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the governmental activities, business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the Village of Villa Park as of December 31st, 2021. This is the technical opinion in terms of documenting that the level of assurance that we provide is the highest level of assurance. It's an unmodified opinion. It's a clean opinion, and ultimately the opinion you want to receive as part of your annual audit. It documents that we believe that the financial statements are free of material misstatement. Following into the second page, the top 2 sections, I'd like to highlight briefly the responsibilities of management for the financial statements, documents that management and the finance department of the village is ultimately responsible for the preparation and presentation of these financial statements in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. The following paragraph documents that as the village auditor, it's our responsibility to develop an opinion on those financial statements in accordance with tests and procedures set by the generally accepted auditing standards. So that's the division of responsibility in terms of management versus the auditor. On the following page, page 4, the final section of the auditor's report I'd like to point out is the other reporting required by government auditing standards. This is a reference to a separate report, the single audit report. This paragraph is included anytime the village expends greater than $750,000 in federal grant money. Historically, the village has had a single audit report, and those compliance procedures have occurred. That was the case again as of December 31st, 2021, and that's what this paragraph is referencing. We do have a separate report for that that shows the dollars and the opinions associated. The next section is the management's discussion and analysis, beginning on page MD&A 1. This section, I'd like to point out in that it is prepared by management and reviewed by us as the auditor to ensure consistency with the financial statements, but it's a very well put together discussion and analysis and contains context in terms of documenting the underlying change from fiscal year 21, looking back to fiscal year 20. These statements, there's a lot of financial statements and a lot of changes in net position, changes in fund balance. These 13 pages do a great job of providing some context in terms of what occurred during the fiscal year. Reasons for increases, reasons for decreases, how certain funds performed, why they performed a certain way. I always recommend to the board to review this section as part of the annual audit. Making our way into the financial statements themselves, we'll start on pages 5 and 6. Pages 5 and 6 are titled the Statement of Net Position. This is the village's long-term consolidated balance sheet as of the most recent fiscal year. This is a similar presentation to a for-profit entity in that it provides an economic outlook and includes all of the village's long-term activities, such as capital assets, long-term liabilities, pension liabilities, things of that nature. What's important to point out is on the governmental activities standpoint, net position increased by about 6.7 million, and then the business type activities increased by about 2.4 million. So overall, economically, the village had a good year in terms of the change in net position. Finally, under the governmental activities column, you'll note that there's an unrestricted deficit position of about 27 million. This is very consistent with communities and municipalities in Illinois, primarily due to the reporting requirements for those that have defined pension benefit plans. Your police and firefighters' pension plans and those associated pension liabilities have drawn that unrestricted position into a deficit, which is very common with Illinois units of local government. When we peel back the layers of that deficit and take out those pension liabilities, the village would be operating with a $11.3 million positive unrestricted net position. So I always like to point that out. Onto the pages 9 and 10. This is the village's balance sheet for governmental funds. So this is the same statement, however, it's recorded on more of a short-term basis. It excludes those long-term activities, capital assets, liabilities. For the general fund, I want to point out overall there is an unassigned positive fund balance of about $6.9 million. A great metric to look at as part of every audit is how does the reserve compare to overall expenditures for the general fund in the fiscal year. The board has set aside a 25% fund balance policy for this position, and when we compare the $6.9 million to the overall expenditures in the general fund this fiscal year, this is roughly at around 32% in terms of overall expenditures compared to the reserve. So it's good fiscal management. It's where you're in line with the policies that have been set, and I want to point that out as far as benchmarks are concerned. Finally, the last statement I'll cover here tonight is a few pages ahead on pages 12 and 13. This is the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance for the village's governmental funds. This is the income statement for all of the village's governmental funds, both major and non-major. I think it's important to understand that the difference between a major fund and a non-major fund. Each year, we evaluate what funds have a high volume of activity from an asset standpoint, liability, revenue, and expenditures, and those funds that have high volume are generally calculated out to be major funds, and as a result, are tested a little bit more thoroughly due to lower materiality thresholds. So historically, the village has recorded major funds in line with the general fund, the debt service fund, capital projects funds. This year, the tax increment financing district number 6 fund was reported as major due to the issuance of the series 2021 alternative revenue bonds. That particular Garden Station project and the capital expenditure that occurred related to that bond issuance drove that fund to be a major fund this year. So it was audited as such, and that's why it's disclosed as such on this particular statement. So overall, fund balance this year increased roughly at about $2.5 million, ending at $37.3 million. And that is really the conclusion in terms of what I wanted to cover tonight. I just wanted to thank the folks involved in finance that we worked with this year, Chuck Howard, Ronna Begg. They're incredibly pleasant to work with. The departments that we interacted with have been very professional and patient. So we appreciate that, and thank you to the board for having me here tonight. I'm happy to address any questions.
Thank you. Okay, any questions on the board? Looks like you did your job well.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
No, I
Likewise.
think, thank you, and I thank staff too. I know it was kind of a tough year. We had, our former director had retired, and Chuck took over and did a great job, and staff did a good job of helping out. So thank you, and
Agree.
thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Yes, oh, hang on, just a second.
What's it cost to put this report together?
You're talking about the physical report, you're talking though about the entire audit?
No, the audit, yeah, not just the booklet.
I'm
Just
off the,
ballpark.
what the total cost for the audit is, do you remember off the top of your head?
I don't know, have that number in there.
There's a contract in place.
Yeah.
Happy to forward that to you if that's
Yeah,
something you're interested in.
we probably approved it.
It is a board approved contract.
Yeah, it's a board approved contract.
Usually goes through a request for proposal process, all of that.
I don't know off the top of my head. I can tell you
Yeah,
what the one in Dover was, but because I remember
Yeah.
putting that. I don't remember.
Chuck, would you mind sending that out to everybody?
Yes.
I will definitely send it out, and,
Sure.
if there are any comments or if you want to update it, we move forward, we can do that.
Thank you. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and we will move on to item 6A, is a proclamation for 2022 Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the Village of Villa Park is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our village, and whereas home fires killed 2,630 people in the United States in 2017, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 357,000 home fires. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas residents should make and practice a home escape plan, drawing a map of each level of the home showing all doors and windows. And whereas the 2022 Fire Prevention Week theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, effectively serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase our safety from fire. Now therefore, I, Nick Cazzone, Village President of Villa Park, do hereby proclaim October 9th through the 15th, 2022, as Fire Prevention Week throughout the village. I urge all the people of Villa Park to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or other emergency, respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Villa Park Fire Department during Fire Prevention Week 2022. And obviously, thank you to our first responders and our fire department for their great service that we get from them. I think they're one of the top departments in the area. So thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Item 7A, minutes from the September 26th, 2022 regular meeting of the Village Board, the August 6th, 2022 coffee with the Village Board, and October 1st, 2022 coffee with the Village Board, and item 7B, bill listings for the weeks of September 26th, 2022, and October 3rd, 2022, in a total amount of $405,104.81. Do we have a motion for the consent agenda? Trustee Kumar?
I will make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Kozar?
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
Trustee Kumar,
Yes.
President Kazan.
Yes. Okay, item 8 are appointments to boards and commissions. Item 8A is the Environmental Concerns Commissions. We have Joe Amore, Marianne Greco, and Margaret Schaefer. The reappointment from May 1st, 2022 to April 30th, 2025. Planning and Zoning Commission, we have Ed Hofstra, reappointment May 1st, 2022 to April 30th, 2025. And the Economic Development Commission, Patrick Groby, reappointment May 1st, 2022 to April 30th, 2025. Do we have a motion for the appointments?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Trustee Patrick, do we have a second? Trustee Murphy?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, Trustee Kumar,
Yes.
Trustee Patrick,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes.
Trustee Kozar,
Yes.
President Kazan.
Yes. Okay, item 9, item 9A. First reading, it's an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, Dupage County, Illinois, amending section 3-313A of the municipal code to increase by 1 the maximum number of license permitted under the Class D liquor license. Manager Harline.
The current business, Ardmore Food and Liquor, located at 1638 South Ardmore, is being sold to Dinal Patel. Ardmore Food and Liquor currently operates under a Class D liquor license. Mr. Patel has applied for a Class D liquor license to sell alcoholic liquor in the original packages for consumption off the premises. The current D license would be surrendered upon sale of the business to Mr. Patel. With this ordinance, the number of Class D licenses remains the same at 8 total. Liquor Commission has approved this issuance of this license.
Thank you. And this is strictly a sale, so the license is going from one person. We'll get rid of it and add to the new owner. Trustee Kumar.
Are we able to waive the second reading?
Yes, if you want to.
Yes. I would like to make a motion to waive the second reading.
First read.
The first reading.
I mean, the first
Yeah.
reading.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion to waive the first reading. Do we have a second on that? Trustee Murphy? Okay. Clerk Kornecki.
Okay, Trustee Kozar?
I'll recuse myself because I have a liquor license.
Yes, thank you. Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Trustee Kumar?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
President Kazan.
Yes. Okay, so, someone want to make a motion, or actually any discussion on the ordinance itself? Okay, Someone want to make a motion? This is for the actual ordinance to pass it. We have a trustee Kumar.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a second. Trustee Patrick. Any questions? Clerk Kornecki.
Okay, trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
I will abstain.
recused. Yes, thank you. And President Kazone.
Yes. Okay, so that will pass. Okay, we move to item 9B. It's an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending section 3-313A of the municipal code to increase by one the maximum number of licenses permitted under the Class B liquor license. Manager Harley.
The current business, Villa Park Tobacco and Liquor, located at 130 East North Avenue, Unit B, is being sold to Kaplana Patel and Umesh Patel. Villa Park Tobacco and Liquor currently operates under a Class B, as in boy, liquor license. Kalpana and Umesh Patel have applied for a Class B liquor license to sell alcoholic liquor in original packages for consumption off the premises. The current B license would be surrendered upon sale of the business to Kalpana and Umesh Patel. With this ordinance, the current number of Class B licenses will remain at the same number, which is 8 total. The Liquor Commission has approved the issuance of this license.
Thank you. And this is, again, the same as the previous one? Trustee Kumar.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the first reading once again.
Okay, we have a motion to waive the first reading. Do we have a second? Trustee Patrick?
Yes.
Okay, any questions? Clerk Kornecki.
Okay, trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Recuse?
thank you. President Kazone.
Yes. Okay, so we have the ordinance up for a vote. Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki.
Well,
This is for the actual ordinance.
don't you have to have a motion
Oh,
for that, though?
yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. We have a motion for the ordinance. Trustee Patrick.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, we have a second. Trustee Kumar? Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, now, Clerk Kornecki.
Okay, trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Recuse.
thank you. President Kazone.
Yes. Okay, so that passes. Move on to item 10A, resolution. The resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an engineering services agreement with Christopher B. Burke Engineering Limited of Rosemont, Illinois, for the Phase 2 design engineering of Phase 2 of the Washington Street Sewer Separation Project, an amount not to exceed $364,710. Manager Harling.
The Washington Street Sewer Separation Project is proposed in the Village of Villa Park's Capital Improvement Program Plan. The project's objective is to lessen the frequency and severity of flooding and sewer backups by separating the existing combined systems, sewer systems. The design and engineering plans for the Phase 2 of the project is budgeted for this current calendar year, and staff would like to proceed with the design engineering efforts. Staff recommends approval of an engineering services agreement with Christopher B. Burke Engineering Limited of Rosemont, Illinois for Phase 2 design engineering of Phase 2 of the Washington Street Sewer Separation Project in an amount not to exceed $364,710. Funding for this agreement will be from the wastewater fund. The village will utilize IEPA wastewater loan funding to pay for the construction of the project. Staff is on hand to discuss the project if you are interested, but this, as we talked earlier, continues the separation of the stormwater and the sanitary sewer systems.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Kumar?
I will make that motion.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Clerk Kornecki, please.
Okay, trustee Kozar,
Yes.
trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Patrick,
Yes.
President Kazone.
Yes. Okay, we tabled items 10B and 10C. We'll move on to item 10D. Resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving amendments to the Villa Park Facade Assistant Program related to the Kennel Wharf Tiff redevelopment project area. Manager Harling. Get
down to the right project. Recently, a property owner within the Kennel Tiff District has requested the program be amended to include allowing partial reimbursement of upgrades to water and sanitary sewer services. This is a TIF eligible expense as determined by state law. The Economic Development Committee considered the request to amend the program at its September 21st meeting. EDC recommended amending the program to allow partial reimbursement of upgrades to the water and sewer services. We've had one property owner and resident advocate in favor of this. I believe there is still funding in this year for the I think we budgeted 44,000, something in that neighborhood. And there are funds available this year still that could be put towards this project. And I threatened Mr. Burke with giving that number up if he's ready to, if anyone wants to know.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion for the resolution? Trustee Kumar.
I will make that motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Trustee Patrick?
Would like to make that second.
Thank you. Okay, any questions or comments? Trustee Kumar.
I'm very happy that, and very much in favor of this change. I think it's a nice way to improve and retain current businesses in the area.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Murphy.
Yes, I would like help with some clarification. I was handed out a pretty significant statement that came from, I anticipate, a resident, that came from you. Is that in relation to what we're voting on right now?
No, that has nothing
That's
to do with
something
that.
else.
This is,
Okay.
yeah, that's
So-
going to be a comment for non-agenda items.
Yes.
Okay, so we're in good shape
Yep.
on this one.
Okay,
Yes?
yep.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Kozar.
I'm in favor of it. I think this makes sense. If one were to buy a property in a TIF district, is there something with the village that basically will give them a list of what one can utilize in that TIF district as an incentive? Because right now it seems kind of disjointed, where if you have a property in a TIF district, you have to then come to the board, or not even come to the board, come to community development, see if there might be anything available, but if the village doesn't recommend it, one may not even know that it exists for you or for that property owner. So how do we lend a little bit more uniformity? So anybody who buys in a TIF district or knows about the TIF district knows that here's 10 things that you can do with your property that may be a benefit as a result of being in the TIF district.
I think that would probably have to be through community development. And I don't know, Director Burke, if you'd like to comment on that.
Start with what we're doing now to let people know that the program exists, and then we'll go from there. So, please, sir.
Good evening. Yes, so the Facade program is on our village website. And this program, facade programs are very common. And this one is for improvements to the exterior facade to make them look better, to bring them back to their natural appearance. So that does not cover all of the TIF eligible expenses. And one of the property owners did come in and ask for the water and sewer upgrades. So that's how this came before you this evening. We do have on our website also a map of every every TIF, and you can actually put in your address, and you can see if you are in a TIF district. What's available in terms of what you can do in a TIF district, it's quite large. It would be difficult to list all of them. I think that the best thing to do is to contact the village and to sit down with a person who has an idea of what they're looking to do.
Okay, well, I mean, here's my issue with it. I think this should pass, and I think that you should be able to upgrade your plumbing. And I'm going to recuse myself from this vote because I have a property in the Kenilworth TIF district. But when I bought my property at 324 East Park, I came to the village, and the village said the only thing you can do in this TIF is get some facade improvement. Even though I brought new plumbing in, I brought new sewer in, I remediated the ground. And I think I had this conversation with you. I certainly had it with the Community Development Director, Patrick Grill at the time, as well as the I don't remember what her name was, who.
Jan Fiola.
Jan Fiola, who said the only thing
It's
you can
the-
get that the village can assist you with on this property is the facade. But now I've come to realize that that's not necessarily true. And if people don't know what they may be qualifying for or eligible for in a TIF district, I think it prevents certain people from necessarily investing in the community if they don't know what they could qualify for in that TIF district.
Everything that's TIF eligible is listed in the redevelopment plan, and there's a redevelopment plan for every TIF district. And the redevelopment plan, each redevelopment plan is on our website. We have a page for each TIF district.
And so just when this facade program was started, there was discussion about what to use the monies for, and I imagine that came before the board at the time, which would have been back in 2007 or thereabouts.
This facade program was created in January 2015.
2015, okay, 2015. So we did get comments, and we're trying to update the program to make it more expansive. So what they told you was, true, is that was all the approved uses when that was the original. I said these are the only approved uses. We would have to change the policy. The property owner, advocated for that. We sent it to the board to review it, and they expanded the uses. There is only so much money available to the private property owners to spend on this, but we agreed that this particular project would be useful because the particular use that they're looking for is a gathering place, third place kind of thing that would be exactly the kind of business that we're trying to promote in this district. So without revealing anything, I don't know, the property owner wants to be revealed. So I think that there are a number of different things, and we can expand the uses. It'll just be less money per use if we do that. So if that's something the board would like us to send back to the Economic Development Commission. Did they discuss opening up to additional uses?
They did, and they wanted to keep the addition to this one use. They were concerned that there'd be more applications than money, and so they wanted to keep it just for extending it for the water and sewer upgrades.
And on one that I promised last, we are giving money to a private property owner, so there needs to be some kind of general benefit. And facade programs are easy to justify because they improve the whole area. Of the things you're describing, the environmental remediation would probably have had the best, the greatest general benefit to the area. Unfortunately, at that time, that was not part of the policy.
So it's incumbent upon the property owner to bring it to the board and say, this is what I want to have approved, and bring this to the board.
Well, the board also has that authority because you guys eventually run the show. If there's other things in that list of uses, if we could make that list of uses, and the Economic Development Committee is absolutely aware of those because that's their particular focus. So if you want to review that, that would be the way to do that. And the last review, this is the one thing they recommended adding.
So so right now, it's just basically facade and sewer and water.
Correct.
Is all we're approving. Correct, okay. So if we do want to put in whatever is TIF eligible, we would have to redo this. But again, the more we put in, the facade program was originally just meant for upgrading the outside.
Yeah, usually for large projects, we'll do a redevelopment agreement. And the way this works is, every year there's money set aside for the facade program. But with a redevelopment agreement, it's based on the increment that project creates. And so the developer doesn't get the money back up front. It's over time as additional increment is generated.
Any other questions? Trustee Kumar.
I wasn't at this particular meeting, but I think it is not a bad idea to kind of revisit a short list with the Economic Development Commission, because they only saw these two things, and get a short list, whatever short list they want out of each TIF of eligible expenses. I understand you don't want a long list and it waters it down, but maybe 1, 2, 3 things that you can ask for that are their top. It gives flexibility to each of the districts. So depending on the TIF, because I think those every TIF is going to have a different flavor, a different need. So depending on the particular TIF, if they could give a short list, that would be helpful.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, Clerk Kornicki.
Okay, trustee Patrick,
Yes.
trustee Murphy,
Yes.
trustee Kumar,
Yes.
trustee Kozar,
Recuse?
thank you, President Kazal.
Yes. Okay, so that passes. Okay, item number 11, public comments on non-agenda items. I think we have a few people signed up.
I do, yes, first one is Reed Goodrich.
The last time I was here, I had a few comments on a Hawthorne Parking Lot that abuts my property, and I'm here to say there's been some movement on that issue. However, there's still a few loose ends. Because I've asked a question about, well, what's going to happen to the bushes along the fence? And my concern is if you don't watch the contractor from start to finish, the shortcut route's going to be taken, and the bushes that have grown up through the existing fence before it pulled out are just going to be cut to the ground. Well, then 2 years from now, after the contractor's gone and cashed his check, all those are going to grow back up again. Okay, and now it becomes a city's problem because sooner or later that property is supposed to be transferred. So I'm looking for confirmation that somebody's going to tell me that all those bushes along the fences that are going to be cut down, that then, will be dug out, and the roots will be taken out, and so that they won't grow back later, not only as a maintenance issue, but with the possibility of distorting the fence if they decide to grow. So, but, I wish from time to time there was more engineering presence on this Hawthorne project, because I've had to call in a drain that was put in too high, and somebody finally fixed it. Was working very well as a speed bump there at the end of Chatham where it connects with the parking lot, and somebody fixed it. But then within the parking lot itself, there's a drain at the northeast portion, which I would bet $5 is probably, as a practical matter, never going to get any use. Okay. There was some concern about, whether we get the 50-year rain and how permeable the permeable lot is, and so that was the excuse, for the drain. Well, in the more mundane issues, what's probably going to happen is the drain at the lower end, southeast lot, isn't going to suffer from, the 50-year rainfall. It's going to suffer from garbage and leaves and all the other stuff that has a habit of collecting in those drains in that neighborhood. And when it overflows, it's going to overflow the curb down at that end of the parking lot. And this perception that the drain is going to be used on the northwest side, I think, is questionable. But if more presence was put on the site by engineers to see what is actually going on with the construction and supervision,
30 seconds.
I think some of these problems might be, prevented or alleviated. But I'll be back next week.
Okay. I'm sure engineering has reviewed the plan, so I'm sure we'll take a look at that. I'll make sure everything looks good. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, Sue Muserino. And Sue did have that handout that I gave to everybody. It's on your desk. Thank you.
Sue Musarino. I'm speaking out regarding the proposed text amendment for Code 9.3.1 intersection, specifically as it currently requires a 20-foot visibility triangle. Now, this code is in place currently to help protect the welfare safety of our community. And if the amendment is changed, added in, and I gave that to you in the packet, additional wording put in, it actually changes it from a code to a guideline. It's no longer a code where it has to go through planning and zoning or the village board for approval, and I think that authority and that control should stay with you folks as our voted representatives. Now, yesterday, I took a couple minutes and I drove down St. Charles Road. I started at Ardmore Avenue and I went eastbound towards Villa Avenue. And the first three streets, Illinois, Charles, and Summit, had 4 separate buildings where it doesn't meet the 20-foot visibility triangle. And let me tell you, it was very difficult getting onto St. Charles Road from those intersections. I don't know how the residents do it. And if you're an inexperienced driver or a senior where your reaction time is slower, I think those are very dangerous intersections. St. Charles Road, as we all know, is 4 lanes, okay? 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, but there's no stop signs or stoplights between Ardmore and Villa. And so people get up to speed. It's a major thoroughfare through our town. And although I know you want to have the building somewhat close, I think that St. Charles Road is a good example of where we actually want to keep the buildings back a little bit so we protect the residents. So that's one thing I'd like to request not be added to the code is those last words. The second thing is regarding impervious surfaces. I think that those need to be better defined, and I made a copy of our stormwater brochure where impervious surface is defined. Just like the intent for hardship is defined, I think it needs clarification, whether it's these definitions or making sure the code is clear. We need to have measurable, objective information that's not open to interpretation. Okay, thank you. And the very last thing is on September 26th, I came before you requesting that the potential for 2 text amendments. And my question is, what process do we need to follow in order to get these text amendments that I requested on the books? And I don't know if you can answer that question for me now.
Text amendments like that need to go in front of P&Z.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they come to the board. Once P&Z either approves or disapproves of them, then they come to the board for approval.
Okay, so they have to go through P&Z first before they come to you. Okay, and do I need anything like petitions or anything in order to kind of gain momentum with this? You know, like I'm not the only person talking. I'm trying to be very logical in my argument, but
Yeah, I would actually start with the community development director, and then
okay.
you know, if you have petitions, bring them to him, and then bring it to planning and zoning.
Okay, Mark. Okay. Okay, I will start with Mark. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I also have Bob Gardner.
Evening. Bob Gardner, I live at 12 West Elm in Villa Park, here to talk about the street. First of all, I want to tell you that the streets that have been refurbished rather, not the right word, redone, Princeton, the college streets, that's a big improvement, and everybody appreciates that. Elm Street between Ardmore and Addison Road has never been improved. Never. And I've inquired about, could it be, and why is that? And I've received some different answers. I do want to say that I'm not here prior to talking with staff and administration. I kind of know the protocol of what ought to be. Over the time, I've been told, well, it'll be improved when we can do it the right way. Okay, it's got to be on some list somewhere of priority work. It's not on the radar. At least 50% of the residents would have to say, yes, I want to do that, and then have a special assessment. And I accepted that for a while, and then I thought about it, and I thought, I'd like to see that. It doesn't sound right. I couldn't find it in an ordinance, and I know a fair amount of how to do that research, and I contacted the village, and the best I got was, I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere. And that's not very responsive, I don't think. Probably true, though. Something's likely in the next 5 years, and that was April of 2021. This unimproved section of Elm Street is breaking up, especially between Ardmore and Princeton, which is the heaviest volume of stopping and starting and turning, et cetera, buses and bigger vehicles. Especially near a sewer cover, which is near where I live, so there's a little bit of observation opportunity there. Candidly, an unimproved street kind of gets treated like an unimproved street in terms of stuff out the window. I'm done with this. I'm drinking and shouldn't be. There goes the bottle. Walking dogs is a little different experience on an unimproved street in terms of people's level of concern versus down the new improved Princeton, where everything looks good.
30 seconds.
Okay. What really puzzles me is that east of Ardmore, Elm Street is improved. West of Addison Road, there are curves, it's improved. But never this section? Okay. Division's been done. We're only a block from St. Charles, which is a fairly integrated part of the community.
Time.
Well, I won't be any longer than the previous speaker. I still don't have an answer of why it's never been improved. Is it sacred? Is it unincorporated? Whatever.
Okay, we have to cut you off because we did give everybody 3 minutes, but your comments were brought to staff after coffee with the board, and it is being looked into. Now, whether it's going to be done, I can't give you a time frame at all. Obviously,
Okay.
money is
10
the biggest
seconds?
thing.
A request?
Sure.
40 years ago, it was resurfaced. Not fully improved, but it was resurfaced. West of Addison Road to Westmore is on the docket, an already improved street to be resurfaced with the state money on resurfacing improvement. I'm puzzled. I'd love to see that next summer, but not during the school year. Don't
We'll
wanna
see
bother
what we
the
can do.
buses. Thank you,
We'll
folks.
get you an answer by next coffee.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else?
No one else.
Anyone else need to comment? Okay. With that, we will go to village clerk's report.
Okay, just one thing to remind our seniors that the SALT meeting is this Wednesday, October 12th, at the Community Recreation Building. The program starts at 11 a.m. The Officer Bregman has a couple really good guest speakers that will be there, and the lunch will be provided by the Senior Concerns Commission. Thank you,
Okay,
that's all.
thank you. Okay, we go on to our village trustees report. We'll start on my right. Trustee Patrick.
Thank you. I'll be quick this evening. I just wanted to thank our police department and our fire department for being out there, taking care of business. You guys have been very busy lately, and there are no easy days. So thank you for putting in the work and the effort. It's showing. I'm seeing it. Residents are telling me all about how impressed they are with our departments. And I know that earlier we touched base on Fire Prevention Week, and President Kazone had mentioned that he believes we have one of the best departments in all of the state, and I will second that. I believe that we do have the best fire departments and police departments in the state, so please keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kozar.
No report tonight.
Okay. Trustee Kumar.
I'd like to just say for Fire Prevention Week, if you have kids that would like to draw their little map of their house and follow through with a fire escape plan, that would be very nice for families. That's the first start. I know when my children were in 5th grade, that's when they put together their plan. So that age group is very good to get it done, and it's not something you have to do by yourself. It's something you can do as a family. That being said, that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Murphy.
Yes, I have a resident request to remind everyone about the trick or treat around Villa Avenue on Saturday, October 29th from 1 to 4. It's looking like they've also designated a rain date of October 30th in the event that it rains on the 29th. That being said, I have a few other events on my calendar for that date that would be notable. The Trick or Trot, and I believe that's a Junior Women's Club, is in the morning. And I also have on my calendar a VFW rocking music event from 6 to 9. So all three of those sound like really great events. It sounds like none of them are in conflict with each other, so that gives everybody a full day, and just double check your details on the locations and times. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, go to the village president's report. I've got a couple things. First off, Beer Fest was a great success last Saturday. The village staff, Parks and Rec, they did a great job. We had, I believe, 514 people that attended it. It was very well run. I think everybody had a good time. Nobody got crazy or silly, and it was nice. It was nice. They had good music playing all day long. Nice old-time rock and roll, which was really good. But everybody enjoyed it. I think we had a really good time. It was a perfect day for it. Yard waste stickers, as of October 24th through December 9th, you will not need a sticker, but that is only on paper bags, the craft bags. If you have a garbage can full of landscaping waste, you still need a sticker. But October 24th through December 9th, you do not need stickers on bags. Electronic recycling will be this Saturday from 9 to 12 in the parking lot over here by Public Works. A resident brought up about our conflict of interest with our new Tiff that we're discussing on St. Charles. And just as a matter of record, the trustees were given a verification that they do not have a economic interest in any of the properties on the Tiff. And so far as I know, none of the trustees have any economic interest on the new Tiff that's being proposed on St. Charles. So just wanted to read that into the public record. And this Saturday is also open house at Fire Station 81. I believe that's running 9 to 3? Noon to 3. At Station 81, that is the station by Willowbrook High School on Ardmore. So. Oh, yeah. And Chief Ron said he'll cook them breakfast. You come at 9 o'clock. Right? Yeah, there you go. But 12 to 3, so you want to come out there and meet the fire personnel and let your kids get onto the equipment. Feel free to from 12 to 3 this Saturday. And that's all I have, and we'll go to our village manager's report.
Just had a couple things. Budget meetings with department heads started this week, and we'll run through this week. So I'm going to look to sit down with each of the elected officials one-on-one to get your budget priorities as we sometime between October 17 and October 28. I probably get an email call from or multiple calls from Cheryl. We did not stream tonight's meeting. There was a problem with the streaming. It will be available for rebroadcast on YouTube, and it did run on the cable channel, but there was a glitch tonight. I just wanted you to be aware of that. We're aware of that, and we'll get that fixed. You already mentioned about the fire department, and then Greg, correct me if I'm wrong. We're looking to try and get a photo in front of the golf course. Do you want the whole council or as many as we can get?
As many as we can. They're doing the pond restoration over at Sugar Creek, and we want to get the joint boards of Elmhurst and Villa Park.
So
I would photo op on a Saturday.
So by show, I know you can't make it on the 22nd. By show of hands, who can make it on the 29th?
What time?
No, the 29th is jammed.
29th is jammed.
That's Trick or Trot, that's the one I just talked about. Trick or
Well, I know,
Trot
but
and-
you need 5 minutes for a picture. But
Yeah, I can make it on the 29th. I come in from
I'll be
India
in
on the
costume.
29th.
I mean, costume works. Costume's okay.
It's gonna be scary.
But if it's late in the afternoon, I can make it.
We could try the
Do the best you can,
22nd, except for we don't have the board president. Anybody can make it on the 22nd?
I cannot because I'm in India. The 29th is better.
Okay, all right, well, that's a
Or we
reasonable
could-
excuse.
Can we do it on November 5th? That's a coffee with the board day.
Yeah.
November 5th, is that too, okay.
Too far
Should
out?
be okay.
All right. Little
Might be
snow
a
on the
little
ground.
chilly out, but-
Yeah, it's November, we'll go shoot for November 5th. All right.
That works.
What time? Probably
About
more,
the Elmhurst
Yeah,
in the morning.
in the morning, yep,
as early as possible. We'll have coffee here.
And maybe right after coffee with the board.
9.
Or
Either
after,
right
yeah.
before, right
That's
after.
pumpkin smash too, so that's pumpkin
works.
All
smash.
right. And then, fire department, you're still taking applications for the fire school, the IO Solutions until October 20th, and they've got a pretty good, 21 app? 33, outstanding, outstanding. So we're looking at hiring we have 3 open positions right now, and trying to keep our fire staff strong. Excellent work. We're creating a new list for firefighters, and that's all I got.
Okay. Item 16, executive session. We have nothing for executive session this evening. So I'll go to item 17, adjournment. Do we have a motion? Trustee Patrick?
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, we have a second. Trustee Kozar?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we will see you back here on October 24th.
Did you say 7:59?